Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Keelan and I just wanted to do a chatty type of video today, talking a little bit about how I managed as like a single parent with 2 kids and like living on a budget, and the things that we did to kind of save money and still have really good experiences. But yeah, I also just want to have like a little chat because it's nice to finally have some time. My kids are both in school now. My daughter got the bus to school today, which was so weird. It's her first year in like secondary school and it's her first time getting a bus by herself, so I think I was much more anxious about it than she was, but she texted me to say she got there, so I can sort of relax. But she's making her own way home too today and it's just really weird. So I'm already feeling tired because I did the school run, took my partner to work, dropped my daughter at the bus stop, and then I walked potato for like an hour, and then I came home and I cleaned the car inside and out, and that is a job like I never enjoy. Like I think the first time I did it, it was kind of a novelty, and I used to help my dad with it when I was a kid, but it's not something I look forward to. And sometimes I'm like, is it worth paying like £15 to just get someone else to do it so I don't have to? Because I just find it like it just takes ages and it's kind of exhausting, and the amount of dog hair in it makes it impossible to clean up. Potato sheds a ridiculous amount of hair for how little hair he looks like he has. So yeah, this morning is a bit strange and I'm not used to having this amount of free time to myself again now, so yeah, it's gonna be weird. I need to go to the dump actually because I've been doing a major clear out and I have loads of bags to take that are just sitting in the living room at the moment. And I just want to have more space cleared, and it'll be nice to kind of feel like we can breathe again. And I'm going to continue working on decluttering now the kids are back to school, because it's harder to keep on top of it over the summer when they're here all the time, because they're basically leaving their stuff everywhere as I'm tidying. So it's like I don't feel like I'm ever making any progress. Yeah, so anyway, I'll talk a wee bit about like how I managed to look after my kids on my own for years, like on a low budget. And I think you kind of have to just change your perspective on things. Like I think a big part of it is that people always tell themselves like life is so expensive and everything is too dear and you can't like afford things, and having children is so expensive. Like that's the main thing that people say first of all about having children. And yes, like obviously over the years it all adds up and to a lot of money, but the thing is with kids, like you're not spending that like large sum of money all in one go. It's spread out over years and years, and during that time you have time to budget and plan for things. So I don't think of it that way. I just think of what's the next thing we need to pay for, and then I make sure I have money saved for it like I would for a bill. I know my sister manages to do it really well too, and she has 4 kids, so, and she stays at home with them, but they like all have a really lovely life and she manages to do everything cheaply. So that's inspiring too, and I think if you surround yourself with like-minded people, it does help. Like you're not trying to live up to some sort of fantasy all the time of the type of life you think you should have or the materialistic stuff that you think you need. Whenever I had the kids, for the first couple of years I didn't have a car, so I just would have used public transport. I had a double pram and I walked a lot, and we managed fine. It was a little bit awkward sometimes whenever, like say I had to go to out of hours at night if one of them was sick. I would have to get a taxi and bring both of them in their car seats into the taxi, so that was really difficult. But other than that, I didn't find it too hard, and I hadn't had my own car before at that stage, so I didn't miss it. Then I got a car when they were toddlers, and it just made life a lot easier, and I still do always walk a lot. I just love walking anyway, but it has made life a lot simpler, especially now they're older and they have so many different clubs and things on, and different interests and different places to be at different times. And yeah, I actually don't know what I would have done without the car last week, because I had to drop both of the girls off and pick them up really close in time, but at different sides of town basically. So yeah, in a way I would say like overall the car has been our biggest expense, like it just is, but I'm fine with it because I know we need it and we kind of rely heavily on it for things like getting my partner to work as well. I got a fake Fitbit and it was really cheap, and I'm actually really impressed with it so far. Like it works so well, and I didn't know that it would have so many features on it. Like I just thought it told you your step count and that was kind of all I wanted in the time, but it tells you like when you need to drink water, you can set reminders and stuff, and I keep getting these little buzzes on my wrist like drink more water, because I actually do drink a lot more water than I used to, but I still don't remember at times to do it if I'm busy. And coffee as well, like that is my kind of number one daytime drink. So yeah, like when the kids were young, I tried to have like an active social life with them and get out and let them meet other kids, and I would meet other mums, and we went to mums and tots groups a lot in churches, which were free entry, and you would usually get a cup of coffee and a snack, and the kids would get a snack at it, and they'd get to do like nursery rhymes and play with the toys and meet other kids, and you could chat with other mums. And like it wasn't always the best place to find friends, because I felt like I didn't always meet people who like I would have made friends with anywhere else, if you know what I mean. But it's just nice to have some sort of community and feel like people have your back and they understand what you're going through, and just to not let yourself be isolated and alone. And that was one way I managed to do things like nearly every day of the week, but like without spending any money. Another one that I've always relied heavily on is the library, and you know that I love the library still. We live around the corner from one. I'm like best friends with the librarians, like we just live there. But when the kids were younger, I went to things like rhythm and rhyme with them, and like you would have gone in sometimes, and I'm lucky, like I know that we're lucky that we have such kind librarians, but we would have gone in and she would have made you a cup of tea or coffee, and there was like they did bedtime stories and crafts, and there were just so many things on for kids to do that kept them busy and entertained and also tired them out a bit. I always kind of like felt like it was important to get outdoors with them. My kids have always had a lot of energy, and if they don't get out in an open space and kind of run it off like a dog, like it just makes your life kind of miserable, because they just kind of are going in circles around you then, making demands instead. And I just know that like because they have those personality types, they need to be kind of like stimulated and also allowed to run around in open spaces and be in nature. And I do think they have a really kind of keen interest in nature now, and that has grown over years and years of spending time in it and just stopping to notice the simple things and like going to collect conkers. And I would always try to make like small things into a big deal, if you know what I mean. So that's something like I feel like I got from my granny. Like she was really good at not spending money, but like taking me to places and making it a really memorable experience and giving you a task to do that made you feel important. And I think that is, it's just like, I do think that it is kind of like the key to a happy childhood in a lot of ways. So like I've always kind of got them to identify things in nature when we're out, and like to be interested in places we go to and flowers and like mini beasts and stuff, which they're also interested in because they learnt about it in school. And yeah, I just love being in nature. A lot of the places in nature are free to go to, and there's the added benefit that if they're running around and climbing trees and like playing, they're going to get tired out, and that makes life so much easier for you when you get home. Yeah, with like food, I have never been like one of those people that cooks different meals for different people, or even like a separate meal for myself and for them. Like we always just eat the one thing for dinner. If they don't like it, it's kind of like, oh well. And if they are starving after it, I will let them have something like toast or some fruit or something to keep them going. But if they don't eat their meal, I'm not going to make anything else, and I'm not going to give myself the extra work and expense of having to create different meals to please everybody, and there will be like one night a week now where I make like southern fried chicken and chips because they love that, and my older daughter particularly would live on like chicken nuggets if she was allowed. But like then they look forward to that, and it feels like more exciting because it's not every day. And then I try to encourage them to try things even if they don't like it, like to just taste it even. And I do find that my younger daughter's always been more kind of experimental with what she'll eat. My older daughter does have quite a restrictive diet in a way because she's got so many things that she just like, it's almost like she's repulsed by it and can't even force herself to eat it, but she's getting much better, and I've seen her eating a lot more, like a wider range of foods recently. When it comes to like snacks and things like that, I always buy unbranded things, and I buy things that I've tried to buy things over the years that like I don't like to rely too heavily on the little like pre-packaged snacks that come in individual wrappers, and also for environmental reasons. Like I have had times when we have done that, but then I try to always go back to buying bigger bags of things that you can portion out yourself, and it tends to be much cheaper as well. And I always try to think ahead and plan, what do we need for the day, or even if we're just going out for a little while, what might we need while we're out. So I'll always bring like a book for me, and maybe if we're in the car for a while, I'll encourage them to bring books to read so they don't get fed up. And we'll always bring our own refillable water bottles so we never have to buy plastic bottles of water. I will always bring like some crisps or biscuits or snacks, or pack a picnic if we're going somewhere over lunchtime, and I'm always kind of thinking ahead. And I think that that's something you do as a frugal person, because you're always sort of trying to preempt what will happen next and what could happen that would potentially be too costly when you're trying to save money. Like, because nowadays, especially, like if we go even to Subway for lunch, it feels like it's about £40 for all of us to have a sandwich, which is just ridiculous. And I love Subway, but it's just everywhere's got so expensive that you used to be able to kind of pop in somewhere and grab something quick and relatively cheap like for lunch, but now I don't feel like you can do that as easily. And if you are going to, I think it's really important to have the apps, like the app for McDonald's or Greg's or like Burger King, like, because if you're not using them, you're missing out on enormous savings, and they give you so many rewards, even if it's for like a free cup of coffee. Or we really like the apple pies at McDonald's, like, and sometimes if I really felt the need to get out of the house, I found it helpful to go to the drive-thru and get the girls just something small like a mini McFlurry, and we would sit with the windows down in the car and just look at the view. Or like I would just get myself a black coffee from there and bring a snack or something in the car. But just if you are at that moment, you know, whenever you just can't think clearly and you just need headspace and you can't even think ahead to prepare yourself a cup of coffee, I think that that is a good way to do it that doesn't cost a lot. And over the years, I think we've just taken advantage of every free event. I'm constantly researching online, like what can we go to that's free or cheap nearby. I'm always kind of looking ahead to the next season, like, because I know that those sorts of events, they're posted and they sell out so quickly. I'm still conflicted about this year with a pumpkin patch, because it kind of has become a tradition in our family, and I never went to the kind of nearby one because I just refused to spend that much on it. Like, it's about £60 for the four of us to go, and we went to one that was much more reasonable than that the last few years, but they've put their prices up now too, so it's about £45 for 3 hours. And I don't know, part of me is like, it has become like a little tradition of ours, and I think my partner actually really enjoys it because he loves Halloween, and he isn't big on going out in general. Like, I'm the one that always wants to go on adventures and he wants to stay at home, but it's always like an event he's happy to go to, and he said it is like a tradition now. But then at the same time, I kind of resent spending that much on one little trip for a few hours, because you can nearly go away overnight somewhere local for that. Let me know what you think, because it would be interesting to hear what you plan to do over Halloween. Do you ever feel like it's worth spending on organised events like that, or do you just do your own thing instead? Because I always have tons of ideas of like what to do. Like, we can do all of our own things to do with pumpkin. Like we can carve pumpkins at home. Like we don't have to go and pay £5 each for a pumpkin. They charge extra for the pumpkins as well, so on top of the ticket you're spending like £5 or more for a pumpkin to carve. Like we can create those little things at home and do like Halloween themed movie nights and have our own snacks. We can make special Halloween themed snacks. We can make Halloween cookies. Like we can go on nature walks and look at the autumn leaves and stuff, and I know all that stuff's available to us for very little. But yeah, you can let me know what you think about that. I'm just a bit torn at the moment. Yeah, another thing I think with having kids that's important for saving money is not being afraid to buy secondhand stuff or to accept like hand-me-downs. A lot of my kids' clothes have been passed on to us, or they've been gifts from like family members and things. I don't really actually buy them a huge amount of clothes, and I guess we're lucky like in that way. And my younger daughter always inherits my older daughter's wardrobe, and she's got like, my younger one has more clothes than she can even fit in her room at the moment, so I'm gonna have to sort that out. But they always have plenty, and I don't feel like we kind of go shopping often. Like I try to do my utmost to avoid going shopping with them where I can, because I know that it just tempts me to spend, puts ideas in my head that wouldn't be there otherwise, and they will always ask for stuff. Like they're just all, they don't know how to not ask for stuff. Well, particularly my younger daughter, when we're there, even if she promises before we go in, as soon as we're in the door she'll be like, can I get this? Can I get that? Yeah, it's just like part of it. So I try to avoid shops with them as much as I can. I always do my grocery shop online, so I don't buy extra things and that they're not involved in the process, and it just comes and nobody can change it then. It's just, it is what it is. And I can meal plan and stuff. I'm trying to think what else. I do think that when you have your first child, you tend to waste money on things that you wouldn't spend money on like at a later stage. For example, when I had my first daughter, like when she was a little baby, I paid for baby sensory classes, and I actually think that was a huge waste of money because I don't think she actually really got anything out of the class. It was expensive for what it was. I ended up kind of being surrounded by a lot of pretentious mums, and like I was talking about this with my sister recently, and she said that someone said to her, everything is baby sensory, which is true. She was like, going to a shopping centre is baby sensory, like sitting in the garden on the grass is baby sensory, going to the beach, going to a park, like hearing things in nature or in your environment, touching things, like all of that's free. There's so many places you can go to do that. Yeah, just like even silly little things like going to a shopping centre to look at the fish in the fish tank. Like my kids love that. Or there's like a little free play area in a shopping centre near us that it's like a mini soft play, and it's free, and we used to go to that. Or just, I'm always on the lookout for little things we can do that don't cost anything, and they're often really memorable. And I think if you're out and about looking around you and you're interested in the world too, you come across interesting things along the way, and those are the things that often are memorable too, the ones that weren't planned, that you just stumble upon when you're out and about kind of exploring and just looking around you and being open to things. So yeah, I definitely could talk about this topic for a lot longer, but I won't bore you with that right now. And yeah, I think my phone memory is nearly full anyway, but I'm gonna just put in some clips of, we called in yesterday to my partner's work because he had they were holding a doll's house exhibition in it where people bring in their doll's houses, like serious collectors of them, and they set up displays and you could look around them. So I took the girls to the exhibition for that, and it was really interesting and they loved it. And I always enjoyed looking at the cute little doll's house things too. We used to go to Craft World when it was still open in town, and my sister had a doll's house, and we would go now and again and she would buy like one item for it, and just it would feel like a special thing kind of looking at all the little miniature pieces. So I think the girls enjoyed it, and I'll just add in any other clips I have of what we've been up to the last few days. And yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content, and I will see you soon. Bye.